pupils have skipped school at some point over the last year because of anxiety.
Yeah, it's pretty increased. A survey of around 2,000 students found that girls are more likely to feel anxious and that exams are the main reason. Well, let's get some more on this. We can speak to Hugh Viney, who's the founder of Minerva Virtual Academy, and Clare, Neale, whose teenage daughter struggles with anxiety. Guys, thanks for being with us. Hugh, let me come to you first of all. What have you found within your educational establishment about how people are feeling, how those students are feeling, and how much they're trying to get time off because of anxiety?
Well, look, before we came on, you were talking about asylum seekers, you were talking about the immigration crisis, but currently 1.3 million students in the UK, 1.3 million kids are consistently or persistently absent from school. 1.3 million. And half of those, at least, is due to anxiety or mental health reasons. Yes, there's been a sharp uplift in the last few years for various reasons, but the point is, traditional schools, the mainstream setup, it's not the teacher's fault, it's not the parents' fault, it's not the kids' fault either. The school itself, the system itself is what's causing the anxiety. For some students, the building, some of them it's the classroom, some of them it's the way they're learning, but there's a lot of reasons, and what we need now is different kinds of schools.
Well, we'll expand on that in a little bit, but first I do want to get Clare's experience and what her daughter has gone through to get a kind of first-hand account. Clare, morning to you. Tell us a little bit about the anxieties that your daughter has suffered and how that's made her feel about school.
Yeah, since about year 7, it started to get rapidly worse, getting her in the morning, getting her up in the morning, in holidays as well. By the time it got to the end of the holiday, the anxiety would ramp up again about getting her in. Also, every Sunday night as well, she'd be really, really bad. And the anxiety was just awful.
Do you know what it was that she was particularly anxious about? Was it about the actual structure of the school, as Hugh was talking about, or was it some of the pressures of achieving, or what was it? What did she express to you?
It was a build-up of quite a lot of things, actually. It could be, for instance, her geography room. There was lots of things hanging from the ceiling, and it just felt completely overwhelming. Also, just things like uniform checks. They'd constantly be doing uniform checks. And, 9 out of 10 children, when they'd say, if you don't have the correct uniform, it's not the correct length. If your shoes look too much like trainers, you'll be going home. Just things like that would just completely unravel her. It was a lot of things. It was a lot of things that would worry her.
Claire, it's Kamali here. Obviously, I hope that Ruby's been able to find somewhere where she is supported in her education. How would you answer some of those parents who might be looking on and thinking, well, it's kind of tough to be a teenager sometimes going to school? How unique is it for Ruby, and how much do you think things feel different now for kids?
Well, Ruby now is at MVA. She was at home more than she was at school. It was rapidly getting worse. My husband and myself both work full time. We'd get calls from the school saying that she was in the medical room. Could we come and get her? And we just couldn't go on like it. So I'd actually looked at Minerva 2 years ago, but was really worried about kind of making that jump. And in the end, I just felt for her mental health and for the family, we needed something different. And at the moment, she's been there since September, and she's like a different child, completely different child.
And Hugh, tell us a little bit more about this rise in anxiety. Do you think the pressures on young people are greater these days? I mean, they do have to deal with social media, which certainly I didn't when I was growing up. Is it the pressure on exams? Do you think that's greater now? What do you think some of the root causes are?
Look, social media, exams, traditional things we might talk about in this circumstance. But, and Australia leading the way by banning social media for under 16s. Look, 33% of our students come to us because of their anxiety. 90% of those is because of social media. So it's clearly It's clearly a factor in anxiety, and only Australia are the ones taking any leadership on banning social media for under 16s. However, I just want to, go back to exams, exam pressure, school pressure. The most radical thing about us isn't the fact we're online. The most radical thing about us is, well, one of the most radical things is our teachers are called by their first name. Kids can wear what they want. They don't have to wear uniform. And guys, when you break down those barriers, when a kid can come into school every day wearing what they like, or calling their teacher by their first name. Our principal is called Suzanne. She's not called Miss Lindley. Honestly, the barriers that breaks down, the way that makes children feel comfortable again, therefore engage more with the learning, therefore learn more and make more friends, is remarkable. There's little things you can do that can help with the anxiety that will go a long way.
Okay, Hugh, thank you for that, and Claire as well, thank you, and all the best to Ruby. Claire and the rest of your family. Thank you so much for being with us this morning, guys.